Right now, the judge is meeting with the jury in the Upatoy triple murder trial as deliberations continue, and there could be new developments. We'll have a full update coming up in just a moment.
And just into the newsroom, the search is over for a person of interest in a double shooting in Americus that left one man dead. I'll have the latest. I'm News 3's Tilo Stahl. Your #1 news at midday starts now.
On your side, this is News 3 Midday.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to News 3 Midday. I'm Greg Lloyd. Right now, a developing story. The jurors are meeting with the judge and attorneys about the possibility of a mistrial in the Upatoy triple homicide trial of 17-year-old Rufus Burks. Now, News 3's Michaela Singleton is in the courtroom right now. She'll bring us a live report later in this newscast if a decision is reached. Here's what we know so far. Judge Gil McBride today says that it became a turning point, that jurors had entered into 22 hours of deliberations. And today, he asked jurors for another vote on the 10 charges against 17-year-old Rufus Burks before things went any longer. Now, family members of Gloria, Caleb, and Keyanna told Michaela it's been a devastatingly long wait throughout the process, and this morning they held a short prayer outside the Government Center building. They're so hoping that today it would all finally be over.
It's been very hard. It's been very stressful. It's been like an up and down roller coaster. We thought we'd have a verdict by now. We haven't. We don't have one. So we are very much stressed out about it. But we're just standing. We're standing with faith. We know that God is the ultimate judge, and we're hoping that we get again a decision today.
Now, so far, as we just told you, this is a developing story, and Michaela just went back into the courtroom to hear about how the jurors have voted so far. Now, as we told you, that vote was expected to come down after Judge Gil McBride asked them once again to try and come up to a consensus on all the charges. Now, we do know that on kidnapping, burglary, and one count of auto theft that last week the jury reached consensus, but the second auto theft charge was also voted 2-10. Now, you can tell that jurors are split. We'll continue with this developing story, and we will bring you the very latest during this newscast live if Michaela receives word. Well, also breaking this midday, Columbus police issue an alert for a murder suspect they say should be considered armed and dangerous. Here he is. 39-year-old Travis Thomas is wanted in the death of Darnell Jackson. Jackson died after being shot on Thomas Street last Thursday evening. Police say Thomas is known to drive a 2011 gray Dodge Ram pickup truck with the Georgia license plate number RGA 4984. Now, if you have any information on Thomas's whereabouts, you were asked to call Detective Stuart Carter at the number that you see on your screen, or if you happen to spot him, call 911 immediately. Well, now to a story, an update to a story you saw first on 3. This midday, Americus police have located a person of interest they've been searching for. News 3's Tila Stahl joins us live now in the studio with more. Hi, Tila.
Hi, Greg. Americus police say the man they're questioning right now is believed to have been at the scene when the shootings took place Saturday afternoon. Police say this morning they found this man. He's 20-year-old Taj Roof. Police say they do want to talk to him, and that's what they're doing. When police arrived on scene Saturday, they say they found 2 men lying in the street. 36-year-old Linwood Cleckley died. The second victim, 26-year-old Winfred Floyd, was life-flighted to a trauma center in Macon.
There were 2 males on scene when the first officer got here. There was some type of altercation that ended up with gunfire being exchanged. We believe there were at least 2 handguns involved.
Officials say Taj Roof is believed to have been in the car with the victim, Winfred Floyd, when they arrived at that shooting location. Today, anyone with information on the case is asked to contact Americus Police. Greg?
Okay, Tila, thank you very much. In Alabama, one Lee County family is grieving the loss of 2 people who died in a car crash. According to the Lee County Coroner's Office, that accident happened Saturday at the intersection of U.S. Highway 280 West and County Road 89 South. Officials say 5 members of one family traveling south on U.S. Highway 280 swerved to miss another vehicle that had entered the roadway from County Road 89 South. Officials say the second driver struck the first vehicle, causing it to lose control and overturned. The impact of the crash ejected the 4 inside the first vehicle. 4 members of the family, including the driver, The victims were not believed to be wearing their seatbelts, unfortunately. Officials say that 36-year-old Arlo Burton and 5-year-old Armani Burton died from their injuries. The other passengers are said to have had non-life-threatening injuries. This midday, that crash remains under investigation. This midday, authorities in Lee County are working to identify a pedestrian who was hit and killed on an interstate on-ramp. That deadly accident happened on Interstate 85 at the end of the southbound on-ramp off exit 57 at Bent Creek. Officials say the victim did not have any identification and appears to have died instantly after being struck by a vehicle that was entering the interstate. Authorities are hoping to learn her identity so that they can alert her next of kin. A Seal woman died following a Sunday night motorcycle crash just west of Phoenix City. 52-year-old Lynn Marie Cahus died on scene after the motorcycle on which she was a passenger left the road and struck an embankment. That accident happened, as we said, about 15 miles outside of Phoenix City at Hiram and Sanford Roads in Russell County. 61-year-old Gary Smith of Hudson, Florida, he was driving the motorcycle according to authorities and was not injured. This midday, Alabama law enforcement agency says that investigation continues as well. To the Crime Watch, the second suspect accused in the deadly Wickham Drive shooting is now in the custody of local law enforcement. Our media partner, the Ledger-Inquirer, reports 36-year-old Dwayne Jones has been extradited from El Paso, Texas, and is now booked in the Muskogee County Jail. On January 24th, 25-year-old Lachey Ford was shot and killed on Wickham Drive, and 2 other people were also injured in the shooting. 35-year-old Carl McClendon is also charged in that deadly shooting. Now, he pleaded not guilty in Recorder's Court last week. Jones is scheduled to be in Recorder's Court himself tomorrow morning at 9. A deadly club shooting in East Alabama left 1 person dead this weekend. Police say 28-year-old Michael Jones died after being shot at the Rhythm and Blues sports bar on U.S. Highway 29 north in Casita. Authorities say it appears that a private party was held at the location and say immediately after the shooting, the crowd, most of them, took off. Now, there are some rumblings that that club should be closed down. Some people in the community are saying that. We'll have more on this story tonight on News 3 beginning at 5 for Central. Now it's time to take a look at your midday forecast. You're looking at live uptown Columbus, a beautiful shot there, but a little cloudy. Let's go ahead and check in with meteorologist Jeff Kelly. Good afternoon, Jeff.
Good afternoon, Greg. If you're a warm weather person, this is going to be your week. Temperatures are already up there in 70s, so we've been above normal since this morning. It's been amazing, but a couple clouds that's filtering some of the sunshine out. You can see them cycling through the area, so a few breaks in the for some sunshine this afternoon, but I'm still going to go with mostly cloudy skies, and I think we're on track. Upper 70s, low 80s. I'm going with 81 for this afternoon. We'll talk about what's ahead this week. You get a hint. It's going to be pretty warm out there. We'll talk about the chance of breaking records, too, coming up in a few minutes.
Okay, Jeff, thank you. And a story you'll see only on 3. The residents of one local apartment complex wait in uncertainty of whether or not power will be restored since today is President's Day, a holiday. Colonial apartment residents say their power went out around 1 o'clock Friday. And from there, they say they contacted Georgia Power. They also say that their landlord, the Terman Realty office, says that they came out and are trying to restore the power, but were unable to do so because of a technical issue at the complex. It left them without lights, heating and air conditioning, as well as hot water.
They don't give a about us. And they shouldn't be that way. But you want my money every month, do what I ask when I call for the request for you to fix something. I mean, we treat it like, you know, they don't care.
Residents were told the power would be restored and expected it to be back on by now. But since today is a holiday, they're unsure. And we tried to follow up with Terman Realty and Colonial Apartments to see if it's back on. And we'll try to have more for that on that story later today. Across Georgia, a special President's Day event started at 11 today. President Jimmy Carter gave a speech at Plains High School in Plains on topics such as the Department of Education, the women's movement, and technology. After his speech, President Carter will be signing copies of his books. Well, there's a lot more coming up on Midday as well. We're going to tell you also about, before we go to break, that First Lady Rosalynn Carter is recovering from surgery. In a statement, the Carter Center says 90-year-old Carter had surgery Sunday to remove scar tissue from a portion of her small intestine. The surgery was successful. The statement says the scar tissue developed after a cyst was removed many years ago. Mrs. Carter is expected to remain hospitalized for several days, where she'll rest and recover. Also new this midday, congratulations are in order for 3 Columbus Fire and EMS personnel promoted this morning in a ceremony that happened around 9 o'clock. Columbus Fire and EMS made it official. Kyle Dutton was promoted to sergeant, Chase Kinsman became a lieutenant, and Shane Clay became a captain. Everyone here at WRBL News 3 congratulates these best of the best on their new rankings. Well, when News 3 Midday returns, we'll tell you about a lot of stuff and what's trending news that's coming up. And if you want to stay connected with us here at WRBL News 3, we invite you to follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Jeff's full forecast is next.